Hello and welcome to Airolo in Switzerland for the second competition of today's action. The Mogul skiers are about to take to this course. It's -1 degree air temperature, a little bit overcast. Pretty good conditions though, not too much wind about. Not as sunny as we saw over the last couple of days. And we're looking straight up there at the Mogul course, the Leda B course at 195 meters in length. Set out with a red course to the right as we look at it, and a green course, a blue course to the left. We are in this beautiful area of Airolo and Quinto, in the south of Switzerland, for the World Junior Championships. Let's take a little look around the area that is hosting this championship. Cloudy conditions a little bit today for the competition. It is the Freestyle World Junior Ski Championships, and it is the dual Mogul team competition. That's how it stacks up. Switzerland v USA, Canada versus France, Kazakhstan, Sweden, France 2 versus Spain, Ukraine, Czech Republic, United States, Japan, and so on. This is the first round. We've got 32 athletes. It's an unusual event, the dual Mogul team. It doesn't get run at World Cup or Olympic or World Championship level, but was introduced to the World Junior Championships in the freestyle in 2022. And great to see this dual Mogul competition about to run here in Airolo for the 2026 version. The basic rundown of this competition is this. It is a team competition, teams of two, mixed teams of two. One man, one woman, skiing on one side of the course versus another team with another man and another woman, another male and female athlete on the other side of the course. The course is split into two colours. There's the blue course on the left as we look at it now, and the red course on the right. And in the start gate here, we have United States and Switzerland. And Team 1, or the first athlete for Team 1, is Abby McLaren of the United States versus Elisa Scanzio of Switzerland. So the two athletes will take their runs now, as they would in a normal dual Mogul competition. With McLaren on the blue course for the USA, Elisa Scanzio for Switzerland on the right. Scanzio in problems already at the midway point there, veering from the fall line as she comes into that midsection. It's a good clean run for the US team's Abby McLaren. Backflip with an iron cross on the second jump from her. The same jump from the Swiss athlete, but trailing after those mistakes on the midsection. So that is the first two. Switzerland versus USA. It's Switzerland versus USA Team 2. Actually, there are two US teams represented in this competition today. And it was USA with the upper hand in that first round. In the second round, the men will take to the course. And in this, so it'll be Porter Huff versus Nail Querici. Again, for the USA and Switzerland. And the scores for the runs for each respective team added together to give a total for the team. So that is 32 points to the USA, 3 points to Switzerland. Those scores will be added to their teammates' performance scores in the next round to give a total for the pairing. And then from this round of 8, the quarterfinalists will be drawn, and so on as we move through to the final. So a team competition. And here are the second team members from those teams. So once again, United States 2, represented now by Porter Huff on the blue course, and Switzerland, represented by Nael Querici on the red course. And already we can see that Huff has the speed advantage as they approach the midway point on the course. Oh, some problems from the American, though. A few little wobbles. He's made a good recovery on the blue course. Left of camera as we look at it. There's the backflip with the iron cross from Porter Huff as he crosses the line. And Querici for Switzerland trailing some distance behind. And the judges will be looking for turn points, air points. The speed is then factored in as well, all three elements being drawn together to give a total number of points for each athlete. And then the male athlete's score is added to the female athlete's score to give a total. So in this case, it is a total points of 61 for Team USA, the pairing of McLaren and Huff there, scoring 61 points first out. So next up, we have France versus Canada. France 1 versus Canada 1. Both these nations fielding two teams today. France 1 on the blue course, Margot Chueta. Canada 1 on the red course, Flavie Lamontagne. Both hitting the top jump at the same time and doing the same jump as well. A backflip truck driver, double grab of the skis from both athletes there. And both athletes matched evenly at the midway point. Trouble on the blue course for the French athlete. A few breaks of form from her. She's recovered well, and they're still absolutely neck and neck. Both doing exactly the same jump on the second, and very little to separate the two speed-wise as they cross the line. Less than half a ski's length in it from what I could see. So not much difference there. Both sets of jumps from both athletes were pretty evenly matched as well. So it's going to be down to turns. And there were a few mistakes from Margot Chueta on the blue course. And she only gets the 13 points there to Flavie Lamontagne's 22 points on the red course. So Lamontagne doing a better job of the turns on that occasion. And her score there of 22 will be added to her teammate. Here he is getting ready on the red course. Quinn Unger. So her scores will be added to Quinn Unger's score to give a total for that pairing for Team Canada 1, and so on. It is Paul-André Gay on the blue course for France, and cork sevens from both athletes on the top jump. Nice skiing from both on the midsection. It is the Frenchman who has the upper hand, but he's making mistakes. He's in trouble. Can he recover? Yes, he does. That was a good recovery. He almost got fired out of the fall line on that one. Ultimately crossing the line ahead of the Canadian, but I think the Canadian had the neater of the two runs. Both skiers there, Quinn Unger and Paul-André Gay, pretty evenly matched, but I think it was Unger, the Canadian, who perhaps had the better run there. He did, 44 points to 26. Canada with the upper hand. So their total now 44 points to Canada, 26 to the French pairing. So obviously it will be the Canadians who move on to the next round. That will be the quarterfinals as the French pairing there of Chueta and Gay exit the competition at this stage. Back up top, Sweden versus Kazakhstan. Nova Nilsson now skiing on the blue course for Sweden, with Julia Feklistova of Kazakhstan on the red. Then it is the Swede Nilsson with the upper hand, the gold medalist in the single format competition here on Thursday, of course, so a very in-form athlete. And that clear to see from that performance from the Swede, Nova Nilsson, making great work of the World Championship Junior Mogul course here. Crossing the line some considerable distance ahead of Feklistova of Kazakhstan. So a good start for the Swedish pairing of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg. They're going to be tough to beat. Nilsson won the women's competition in singles. Moberg won the men's. So a very, very on-form Swedish team. 22 points to 13. Sweden with the advantage after that round. Looking good at this stage. So it's going to need mistakes from Ellis Moberg, really. Here he is lining up on the blue course. Remember, the gold medalist from Thursday's single format competition against Denis Rastruba of Kazakhstan. Well, both athletes going with corkscrew twisting maneuvers in opposite directions there, making a bit of a visual feast off that first jump. But it is Moberg, the Thursday's gold medalist in the single format competition, the world junior champion there, who blisters across that line well ahead of Dennis. And that is an emphatic start to this dual mogul team competition for the Swedish pairing of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg. Brilliant stuff. So 46 points to Team Sweden 1, 24 to Kazakhstan. It will be Sweden who progress through to those quarterfinals. And they are going to be the pairing to beat today in this team competition. Mixed team, dual moguls then. Back up top, Spain versus France. Erika Ruiz Lopez for Spain versus Lisa Bertrand for France. Bertrand on the red course, nearest to camera, or right of camera now, with an invert truck driver. Lopez, the Spanish athlete, opting not to go inverted, staying upright on that first jump, but she's matching the French skier for speed, so this is a good performance from Erika Ruiz Lopez. Matching the superb turns of Bertrand for most of that course, trailing by about half a ski's length at the end as they cross the line. So Lise Bertrand with the speed advantage, and I think probably the better turns. Certainly she had a little bit more difficulty when it came to the air, but not a bad performance from Erika Ruiz Lopez. Her team mate, Anton Verdegauer Fawn, will be up top. 23 points to France, 12 to Spain on that occasion. So the two girls now will wait at the bottom of the course and see their respective teammates take to the course straight after them. And this is going to be Antoine Ten of France on the red course versus Anton Verdegauer Fawn for Spain on the blue. And the blue course athlete for Spain putting in some nice tight turns on that midsection. The French skier faster. Whoa, but he's in trouble on the blue course, really over-rotating that second jump. Took too much speed into that second jump and completely lost it, landing on his back. And crashes out, handing the quarter-final place to the French pairing of Lise Bertrand and Antoine Ten. So some great skiing from the Spanish pair there. We've not seen much of them in freestyle competition. Great to see some new names coming through from France and some real talent amongst that particular pairing. But a little bit of work required perhaps on that backflip from Antoine Verdegauer Fawn. Luckily, he's back up on his feet and he's not sustained any injuries. But it is ultimately there, the French pairing of Bertrand and Ten who progressed to the quarterfinals. Back up top on the blue course for Czechia, it is Zuzana Lapakova versus Ukraine's Yuliana Kizil. Kizil on the red course in trouble, veering out of that fall line there, getting spat out of the line and the rhythm of the bumps, struggling to get the run back under control as the Czechia athlete locks into the rhythm of that midsection on the blue course, hits the second jump way out in front. A nice upright spread, backflip from the Ukrainian, but it's too late. The mistakes were made on that midsection by Yuliana Kizil on that red course, struggling to match the rhythm of that midsection of bumps. Once the mistake is made in freestyle moguls, the problems come along pretty quickly. These guys are covering the almost 200 meters of this course in somewhere just over 20 seconds. So it gives you an idea of how fast they're moving across this incredibly bumpy terrain of a freestyle moguls course. And when things go wrong, well, as we've just seen there, it can happen pretty quickly. So their respective teammates now. Matthias Krupa for Czechia on the blue course with Rostislav Oleksiuk for Ukraine on the red course, and already the Ukrainian has come to grief on landing that first jump. He's straight back up onto his skis, but already this race has been won by the blue course athletes from Czechia. Mistakes being made by both of the Ukrainian athletes, unfortunately, on that red course. Both of them okay. No injuries sustained. I am pleased to see. Congratulations being offered at the bottom of this course. And it will be the Czechia team with 59 points who progress through to the quarterfinals on this occasion. Japan versus the USA. This is USA Team 1. We've seen USA Team 2 in action already. This is USA Team 1. It is Eden Kruger on the red course for the USA versus Japan's Riku Nonobe on the blue course. Both athletes matched well for speed at the midway point. Not much to separate the two. At this stage, it's going to be a pretty close run thing. It is the blue course skier of Riko Konobe who is the faster of the two on this occasion. And her turns were pretty good too. So already some stiff competition there between Team Japan and Team USA 1. I think this will be quite a close decision for the judges. May have to be really decided when the men take to the course in the next run. 20 points to 15, not as close as I thought it may have been. But Japan with the upper hand after that first run. Let's see how their respective teammates get on now then. Back up top, this is Ryoma Hayashi for Japan on the blue course. And Camden Lewis for the USA on the red. So Japan with a 5-point advantage after that first run. Cork sevens from both athletes on the first jump. The red course athlete Camden Lewis has the advantage as they hit the midway. Good skiing from the American on skier's far left line. And crosses the line well ahead of his Japanese opponent Ryomo Hayashi. So Camden Lewis doing something there to redress the balance between the two. Remember, Japan with a 5-point lead after the female athlete skied. Let's see whether this will reverse the situation. Japan lead at the moment as they bid for a place now in the quarterfinals. Let's see which way the judges go with this decision. Japan had the advantage on the first run. I think the US had the advantage on the second. And it's pretty close. Only 2 points in it. 38 points to 32. United States get the nod. They are through to the quarterfinals today. So that's Team USA through. As we come down to the last two pairings now. The last four pairings, I should say. This first is Sweden versus Germany. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden on the blue course. Laura Eckel for Germany. Nearest to camera, or right of camera now, on the red course. Both inverts. And it is the Swedish athlete with the advantage, but she's carrying a little bit too much speed. She got into the tail of her skis a little bit there. She's recovered well and still holds an advantage. There will have been some turn deductions for the judges for that mistake. She's made a good recovery. She still has the advantage on speed on the blue course. Well ahead of the German athlete as they cross the line. And I think that was a slight advantage there. Despite those mistakes, a slight advantage for Olivia Hedberg. So the judges making their deliberations there. Olivia Hedberg scores 21 points, 14 for Laura Eckel of Germany. As we look back up for their respective teammates, this will be Noel Gravenfors now on the blue course for Sweden, with John Orgeldinger for Germany on the red course. Orgeldinger, a great skier, a real name to watch for the future. He was a super finalist on Thursday in the single format competition. Was unlucky when it came to that super final, but was certainly looking or challenging for a podium finish. And watch him ski. A great stylist with a good cork 7 on that top air. But it is the Swede who has the advantage on the red course at the moment. Here comes Orgeldinger now, though. Look at that. He's matching the Swede, staying with him. The Swedes still with a slight speed advantage, opening up a slightly bigger gap in the bottom section of the course. Great skiing from Noel Gravenfors. A good run from John Orgeldinger as well. And when it came to turns, well, both of those athletes were absolutely outstanding when it came to the turns. So not a lot to separate the two. I think that one could be down to speed. And it looked like it was Sweden with the slight advantage on speed there. Remember, Olivia Hedberg was 21 points to 14 in the first round. So Sweden already with the advantage after the females have skied. So let's see how it stacks up now with when the scores are added together. Well, it is looking like a 43 points to 27 with Sweden getting the progression through to the quarter final. As we move down to our last teams now, the Great Britain team of Eliana Carr and Milo Dodd. It's Eliana who skis first on the blue course against Canada 2, Citrine Boychuk and Simon-Philippe Fougère. Citrine for Canada on the red course. It's a great start for the Canadian athletes. Citrine Boychuk getting out of that gate. Eliana Carr, an inexperienced athlete, but making a decent job of this very difficult course. Great to see the Brits represented today. But the difference is quite clear to see there. Citrine Boychuk, incredibly well prepared for this junior championships. But really good to see some new names coming out of Great Britain, like Eliana Carr there. Crossing the line and putting some nice turns in there, but not being able to match the speed of Citrine on that occasion. $30 points to 5 then, as we look back up for the last run of this first round. This will be Simon-Philippe Fougère for Canada on the red course versus Milo Dodd for Great Britain on the blue course. Again, new names coming out of Britain. Milo Dodd didn't make the latter rounds of the finals in the single format competition. Let's see how he goes now. He's out of the gate ahead of the Canadian, and this is good skiing from Milo. Brilliant stuff. Now, is he going to be carrying too much speed? Can he control it? The Canadian tries to catch him, but both skiers on the very, very edge of control here as they come into the second jump. Milo Dodd managed to get the backflip in, veers a little bit out of the line, but that was a blisteringly fast run from young Milo Dodd there. Amazing stuff. Now, he was on the edge of control, but he was fast. I don't think Simon-Philippe Fougère saw that one coming. Excellent skiing from Milo Dodd. I'm not sure which way it is going to go in terms of scoring with turns, because Milo Dodd, although he was fast, he was kind of on the edge of control, but fair play to him. It was an exciting run. So 20 points in the end going towards Philippon, and 15 to Milo Dodd, and he is going to be an exciting performer, no question. So it will be Canada then who progress through to that next round. On then to the quarterfinals, United States 2 in action once again. Abby McLaren on the red course, Flavie Lamontagne for Canada on the blue. So we're down to the quarterfinal rounds. Only 4 teams, of course, remaining in the competition at this stage. 16 athletes comprising those 4 teams, a male and female in each of the teams in this Dual Moguls mixed team competition today at the Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships for 2026. As we move through the elimination rounds. So on the blue course, Flavie Lamontagne of Canada. And on the red course, Abby McLaren for Team USA 2. They've switched courses now. They were on the opposite courses for the last run, opposite colour courses. So something of a challenge in that respect as we await the gate dropping here on the start of the quarterfinals. Looking for places now in the semis in this unique team event that only really takes place at the Junior World Championships. We don't see the team dual mogul competition at World Championship yet, or World Cup, but it's great to see it today. An exciting competition pairing male and female athletes side by side, working as a team together to move through the elimination rounds of this team event. And right now, the quarterfinals get underway. On the red course then, for the USA, Abby McLarnon. On the blue course, Flavie Lamontagne for Canada. Nice clean start from both athletes. That's the crux point of the run. They both land clean and get straight into the rhythm in the midsection. Nothing to separate the two at the moment, although the red course athlete, Abby McLarnon, does have a slight advantage on speed. Both athletes turning really well, though. What are the bottom jumps like? Equally matched, both doing the same jump and crossing the line almost exactly side by side there. So a speed advantage initially by the American athlete, but that was closed. That gap was closed by Flavie Lamontagne of Canada, and there'll be very little to separate the two in the eyes of the judges for that one. $16 points to 19. The advantage going the way of Abby McLarnon for Team USA. Let's see how her teammate Porter Huff now gets on. He also skiing on the red course, of course. He knows that he's got to make up that 3-point disadvantage he goes into this run with. Clean jumps from both athletes and clean landings straight into the rhythm of the midsection. This is looking good. Equally matched at the midway point. The Canadian on the red course, the American on the red course with the speed advantage. Porter Huff hits the second jump first, gets the jump in and crosses the line ahead of the Canadian as well. So good skiing from Porter Huff. His teammate, Abby McLarnon, had given them a 3-point advantage over the Canadians. The reverse of what I said a moment ago, I apologise, but a 3-point advantage. So it looks to me like the Americans might have clinched that spot in the semi-finals on this occasion. They went into that run with a 3-point advantage thanks to Abby McLarnon. And Porter Huff hit that course hard, crossed the line first. He's 2 points. It's a good score from both athletes, slightly less than the Canadian actually by 0.1, but with the 3-point advantage from the run of Abby McLarnon, it means that by 2 points, it is the Team USA 2 who book their place in the semi-finals. Next up, the golden pairing of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg, the two winners of the single format mogul competition from Sweden. I think that is a so on the red course. Problems on the blue course there. Trouble with the rhythm of that midsection and coming to grief, handing the easy win in this occasion to the red course skier. And that is indeed Nova Nilsson, I believe. Yes, it is. Nova Nilsson, the gold medalist from the single format competition on Thursday. Apologies there were some mistakes on the graphics that threw me off momentarily there, but that was, yes, Nova Nilsson versus Lise Bertrand of France. Nova Nilsson with the upper hand, 31 points to 4 after that crash on the blue course from Lise Bertrand. Luckily, no injuries sustained. Now, their respective teammates, Ellis Moberg to ski now on the red course for Sweden, the gold medalist from Thursday's single format competition. versus Antoine 10 of France on the blue course. They're all in, and it looks like on the red course that Moberg is taking the skiers' right line on the red course. Antoine 10, the skiers' left line on the blue course. So they're going to be right next to each other as they come down this dual mogul course. We can see them in the start gate getting ready to go. Not a great distance separating the two. It's going to be pretty tight racing this. Remember, the speed, of course, only part of the component. The turns and the jumps make the difference too. So, Porter Huff on the red course. Quinn Unger. That is what the graphic says. Sorry, mistaken graphics once again. I do apologise. This is Ellis Moberg versus Antoine 10. Ellis Moberg on the red course for Sweden. Antoine 10 for France on the blue course. Ignore the graphics that just flashed up a moment ago. This is quarter-final number 2, just about to run. We've already got our first pairing of semi-finalists. That's Abby McLarnon and Porter Huff of the USA. And this next run will decide who or which pairing meets them in that semi-final number 1. Some delay in the start gate for an unspecified reason at this stage, but it looks like they're ready to go now. Ellis Moberg, gold medalist on Thursday in the single format version. The graphics are now correct. He skis on the red course for Sweden 1. Antoine 10 for France on the blue course for France 2. And it's a great start for the Swede. Moberg hammering out of that gate at the top there. A good response, though, from the French athlete as he pulls level and in front of the Swede. Oh, but he was carrying too much speed. Almost veers into the path of Moberg. Has to bail out of that course and hands the semi-final position to the Swedish athletes. An exciting run as Moberg got the best start. Then 10 responded by pulling level and ahead of him at one point, but the speed was too much and he just couldn't quite match that rhythm of the midsection bumps given the speed he was travelling at. Almost veered into the path of Moberg, but ultimately bailed out of the run. Again, mistaken graphics on the screen just now. Let's discount those graphics. That was Antoine 10 with the bib number 4 there, and with the bib number 5.2, it's Ellis Moberg. And it will be Nilsson and Moberg, the Swedish pairing, Sweden 1 pairing of Nilsson and Moberg, who progress through to that first semi-final where they will ski against Abby McLarnon and Porter Huff of the USA. Deliberations being made by the judges, but I think that's fairly sure that it's going to be a DNF for the French skier Antoine Tenet. It certainly was an exciting run as the skiers were very, very close to each other as they were racing, and at one point Antoine veered to the left out of his fall line, almost into the path of the oncoming Swede, but then managed to get himself back across out to the other side. By that time, it was too late, and he had to take a bail on the course and get himself out the way of a possible collision. So the French team there will be out at this stage as the two gold medalists, the golden Swedish team, or the golden Swedish pairing of Nilsson Moberg, book their place in the semi-final. 66 points for them on that occasion. As we move now to quarter final number 3. Czech Republic versus USA 1. It'll be Zuzana Tlapakova for Czechia versus Eden Kruger for USA 1. Czechia on the red course, USA 1 on the blue course. And they're out of the gate. An upright from the Czech athlete, an invert from Kruger, the American, and the Czechia athlete. Zuzana Tlapakova crashes out just after landing at that first jump. She never quite settled. It's so often the crux point of a mogul run, the landing from that first jump and that split-second timing to get into the rhythm of the midsection bumps. And it's such a critical point in the run. It's so difficult to land an air like that and then have to get back into the turns of this very, very bumpy course with a split-second timing. And if you get it just a little bit wrong, well, we can see the results there. So Zuzana Tlapakova for Czech Republic crashing out there. She's okay. No injuries sustained, but that is a solid advantage for Team USA. Eden Kruger, excuse the mistaken graphics once again. That is the correct lineup there. Eden Kruger 34 points and Zuzana Tlapakova the 1 point there following that crash just after landing from the first jump. So unless things go badly wrong now for Camden Lewis of the USA, it means that USA 1 will book their place in the semi-finals. Matthias Krupa for Czechia on the red course. He's just seen his teammate Zuzana Tlapakova crash out. So it's really going to mean a crash from Camden Lewis in order for the Czechs to have any chance of making it through to the semis at this stage. All Camden Lewis needs to do, really, there he is on the blue course, all he needs to do is play this one safe. He's got such a large point advantage of a consequence of that last run. Krupa's putting a great run in. He's ahead of the American, but like I say, the American plus said he just needs to play it safe, and he takes out the finish gate. Now, what is that going to mean? Just as I was saying that it is going to need a crash from Camden Lewis of US 1 to give the Czechs any possibility of progressing at all, he does exactly that right at the very last minute of the run. And I don't know what decision will be made on this occasion. I mean, he did cross the line eventually, but some way behind. I don't know what the judges would say about that one. It's certainly a highly unusual occurrence at the end of a dual mogul run. And we'll just have to sit back and wait and see which way this goes. Eden Kruger was 34 points to 1 up on Zuzana Tlapakova after that first run. All Camden Lewis really needed to do there was get a clean run in. But unfortunately, despite a good run, things came unstuck for the American right at the last minute. And look at that, a sigh of relief. Only 3 points to Lewis and 32 points to Krupa. But with the advantage gained from the female runoff, it means that by only 4 points, the Americans have just scraped through to the semi-finals. Exciting stuff here at the Junior World Championships. Dual mogul mixed team competition underway. Down now to the last quarterfinal that will pitch Olivia Hedberg against Citrine Boychuk. Sweden versus Canada for the last of the quarterfinals. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden with her teammate Noel Gravenfors, and Canada 2's teammates Citrine Boychuk and Simone Philippon-Fougère. awaiting their run now. We know that already USA Team 2 of McLaren and Huff are through to semi-final number 1. The golden Swedish team of Nilsson and Moberg will be skiing against them in that first semi-final. And we know that Eden Kruger and Camden Lewis have just scraped through after an exciting finish in that last run that took out the finish gate equipment on the middle of the course there that is just being repaired before we get our next run underway. But we know that by only 4 points, they made it through. USA Team 1, that is, Eden Kruger versus Camden Lewis. Who will it be that will ski against that pairing in the second semi-final? We will find out when the finish gate has been repaired. The timing equipment down there being completely taken out by Camden Lewis of Team USA as he crossed the line on his side, taking the timing equipment out with him. Luckily, no injuries sustained, we don't think. Certainly nothing serious, thankfully. But it was certainly an exciting finish to that last round. This could mean a little bit of a delay. That timing equipment does need to be working, of course, as they measure the speed or the distance or the difference in speed between the two athletes after having crossed the line. Speed works out to be about a third of the overall score in dual mogul competition, with a third being afforded towards turns and a third on air. So it is, of course, a factor within the sport, and the timing equipment does, of course, need to be accurate and working. So the tech team here in Airolo at the Freestyle Skiing Junior World Championships doing their job. They're looking quietly confident, I would say, trying to judge the body language, that they've got their speed clocks back in place and operational once again, with one pairing, or one heat, I should say, still to be run. The last quarterfinal, Sweden 2 versus Canada 2, still to be run. Hedberg versus and Gravenfors for Sweden, Boychuk and Fougere for Canada, to establish who will be the last team to make it through to that second semi-final. So here they come, the tech team, competition organising committee here have rebuilt the timing equipment at the bottom of that course after that crash. Moving out of the course, looks like they've got things operational. A quietly confident walk, I would say, from them, suggesting that things are working. They'll be running a test on that timing equipment right now to make sure that they have it operational ahead of this fourth quarterfinal. This is the Freestyle Skiing World Junior Championships for 2026 in Airolo in Switzerland. Freestyle dual mogul mixed team competition underway now. This morning we had the mixed team aerials competition, and great action that provided as well. We are moving through the elimination rounds of this mixed team dual moguls competition. Towards the finals, when today's medals will be decided in this World Junior Championship event. A slight pause to the proceedings. The sun just starting to break through the cloud over the bump course there. That will be welcome from the skiers. It just helps them judge those bumps that little bit better when there's a bit of sunlight on the terrain. This, the dual mogul team competition. Pairings of female and male athletes. Tomorrow it will be the straight-up dual mogul competition to conclude the competition action here at the championships. A 4-day event that sees 357 athletes aging 14 to 19, representing 21 nations in 4 days of competitions here in the beautiful Swiss resort of Airolo. Nice bit of late season sun hits the course as we await the 4th quarter final. Sweden 2 versus Canada 2. Getting ready to run now. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden will be skiing on the red course. And Citrine Boychuk for Canada on the blue course. And it looks like we are now ready to go for this 4th quarterfinal. Sweden 2 versus Canada 2. Olivia Hedberg for Sweden 2 will ski on the red course. Citrine Boychuk for Canada 2 will ski on the blue. Looking for a place now in the second semi-finals, I should say. All in, ready to go. The gate drops and out come the athletes. Great starts on the red course for Olivia Hedberg of Sweden, but she's in problems already. So that is such a bad landing from that first jump. And problems too on the blue course for Citrine Boychuk. So it's still wide open. Boychuk has made a good recovery. So has Hedberg. But look at the gap between the two. All sorts of action there as Boychuk keeps it upright on the second jump with a spread jump. Backflip from the Swede as she crosses the line. Now, I think both athletes remained within the course there, so they should both get a score rather than a DNS or DNF or did not finish. So I think both of them actually managed to stay within the lines of the course. But Hedberg had a great start on the red course, got her first jump in and then landed it and just got thrown out of that fall line. Really didn't connect with that midsection of bumps right at the beginning of that top section. So often the crux point in competitive moguls, the landing from that first jump. Looks like she's taken a few knocks. Both athletes do score. 22 points going to Boychuk, 13 to Hedberg. So that leaves a lot of work to be done for Noel Gravenfors for Sweden. Here he is getting ready now on the red course. A big job for him with 9-point disadvantage on that red course going into this last run of the quarterfinals against Simon Philippon Fougère of Canada 2. The Canadian on the blue course, the Swede once again on the red. This is where things came unstuck. Both the men land their jumps fine, though. Great rhythm on the midsection. Now the Swede on the red course is carrying a lot of speed. Is it too much, though? He's getting bounced around a bit from bump to bump there. He just about holds on to it. He has a big speed advantage, but he was getting bounced around a bit on that midsection particularly. Taking a lot of risks was Noel Gravenfors in order to close that gap after Olivier Hedberg's crash in that last run. So, wow, what an exciting way to finish the quarterfinals that was. Great skiing from Simon Fougère of Canada as well. 18 points to 17 for those two. Virtually nothing separating them. But ultimately, when the two scores are added together, it is 40 points for the Swedish team to the Canadian team, and 30 points to the Swedes. So it is the Canadian pairing of Citrine Boychuk and Simon Philippon Fougère who book their place in that semi-final. On then to the next round. So 8 athletes remaining in the competition. 4 teams of 2. A male and female athlete in each team. And first up on the blue course, Abby McLarnon for the USA. Her teammate will ski next. Porter Huff, that will be. Anyway, Abby McLarnon skis on the red course now in semi-final number 1. This for a place in the final against Nova Nilsson on the red course. Nilsson, part of the golden Swedish pairing of Nilsson and Ellis Moberg, the two winners of the single format competition on Thursday. So, a twin pairing of 2 junior world champions and the team to beat here in the team event. No question about that. So first up then, it is the turn of the women to take to the course. Like I say, Abby McLarnon for the USA will ski on the red course. And Nova Nilsson for Sweden, will ski on the red course for this semi-final number 1. The winner of this semi progresses through to the final, which will, of course, give them a chance of victory today in this team competition. Clouds covering the sun once again. There was a moment of beautiful sunshine on the Mogul course for the last couple of rounds of the quarter-finals, but the hill once again in a little bit of shade. Not too bad conditions, but it just makes it that little bit easier to judge the very difficult terrain of a Mogul course when there is sunshine, direct sunshine on the bumps. That being said, it is the same for both athletes in these dual races. Side by side, simultaneously on the dual bumps course. The blue course on the left, red course on the right as we look up. The athletes looking to establish a fall line. The fall line they refer to in mogul skiing is the most direct line from the top to the bottom of the course as dictated by gravity. And once the fall line is established, they need to move down that line in a straight line and move down the hill in a straight line, putting in, of course, their fast, tight turns, but with their upper body basically adhering to that fall line, the straightest line from top to bottom. Once they establish which fall line they're in, which they do when they come out of the gate, any deviations from that fall line attract deductions from the turn judges. There are judges looking at the jumps as well, and then speed is factored in. So 3 elements to make up the dual mogul competition with a third for each of the scores to make up that total. So a third for speed, a third of the scores for air, and a third for turns. All the elements need to be there to achieve success in this discipline as we await the semi-finals. And the skiers go now for a place in the final. Both American teams, America 1, United States of America 1 and United States of America 2 are through to this semi-final round. And then Sweden 1 and Canada 2 also. So semi-final number 1 sees USA 2 versus Sweden 1. Semi-final number 2 sees USA 1 versus Canada 2. I apologise, that does sound a little confusing. but you'll get the gist when the event starts running. Team USA 2, Abby McLarnon and Porter Huff. They'll be competing on the blue course in this first semi-final. And Sweden 1, Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg will be skiing on the red course. So 4 teams consisting of 8 athletes through to this section of the competition. We're down to the semi-finals. Two United States teams, a Swedish team and a Canadian team to this segment of the competition. The course on hold at this stage for an unknown reason at this point. A little bit of wind blowing across the course. The sun has gone off the course, which is a shame, but the conditions are basically pretty good today. It's just below freezing point, and it looks like we might be ready as we chop in tight on that start gate. So, Nova Nilsson for Sweden, 1 on the red course. Abby McLarnon for United States 2 on the blue. Nova Nilsson on the red course there, gets a nice backflip, truck driver in. She was the gold medalist on Thursday in the single format competition, but stiff competition coming from Abby McLarnon. Abby McLarnon ahead of the Olympic of the junior world champion, and she's really destroying the Swedish opposition on this particular case. That was brilliant skiing from Abby McLarnon on the blue course there, crossing the line well ahead of Nova Nilsson, and that's unusual. Remember, Nilsson was the winner of the single format competition on Thursday, and McLarnon, in actual fact, was the silver medalist. So these are the top 2 pairing from yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, Thursday, I should say. And it's a very close run thing. 18 points to 17. The advantage by only 1 point going towards USA 2. Next up, Porter Huff versus Ellis Moberg. Now, Porter Huff has got to make up that difference of 1 point. Not a lot, but it's going to be tough. He's up against the World Junior Mogul champion, Ellis Moberg. Moberg there on the red course. Hoff on the blue course. It's a better start for the Swede on the red course, but already Hoff responds well, matching the Swede for speed. Both got clean jumps, both looking very good on the midsection. The Swede with the advantage, both equally matched for jumps on the bottom. Not much separating the two, but the Swede, Ellis Moberg, world junior champion in single format moguls, looked to have the advantage there. The turns were dynamic, the skiing was fast, the airs were good, and the landings were clean too. So a great all-round performance from Ellis Moberg. A great bit of skiing too from Porter Hoff, it has to be said. And not a lot in it. 15 points for Hoff, 20 for Moberg. That gives a combined score of 37 to Sweden 1. To 33 to USA 2. So it is Sweden 1, the golden team of Nilsson and Moberg, who book themselves a place in the final and an opportunity at another gold medal. Who will it be that skis against them in that final, though? USA 1, represented now by Eden Kruger on the blue course. Canada 2, represented by Citrine Boychuk of Canada, skiing on the red course. Semi-final number 2 then gets underway. Both athletes on the inside skiers' lines. So they're going to be right next to each other, right in each other's periphery vision. Problems on the red course for Citrine Boychuk as she crashes out on landing. Hitting the wrong part of the landing there, landed right on top of a bump and just could not put that one down clean. Lost a ski with the impact. Out she goes, leaving a clear run through for Eden Kruger on the blue course there for United States 1. And that is a very strong start, of course, for USA 1 to that bid for a place in the final. And it means that the next round, it means that Team Canada 2 are going to be needing a crash, really, from Camden Lewis in this next run. A bit like what we saw in the last run, and that's exactly what Camden Lewis did when he took out the timing equipment on the finish line, if you remember. So it sounds a bit unlikely, but you never know what is going to happen in dual moguls. And the Canadian Citrine Boychuk back up on her skis, looking like she's okay, not sustaining any injury, thankfully, in that crash. But, of course, the points will tell their own story. Looks like 30. So, a DNF for Canada. It's 35 points going the way of Team USA 1. And like I say, all Camden Lewis needs to do now on the blue course is get a clean run in, and they have got their place in the final. This is what we said last time, but you remember he crashed out as he crossed the line. Camden Lewis then, once again, on the blue course, as was his teammate Eden Kruger just a moment ago, and Simon Philippon Fougère for Canada on the red. Fougère will be looking to try and put the pressure on Camden Lewis, trying to egg Camden Lewis into making a mistake, but ultimately it is the Canadian that makes the mistake. Once again, getting fired out of that fall line on the midsection, deviates from the fall line, crosses the line ahead of the American, but remember, with that big advantage from that last run, all Camden Lewis had to do was cross that line on his skis, get a clean run in. That's exactly what he does. And that means that the pairing of Eden Kruger and Camden Lewis will now book their place in today's final, where they will ski off against the golden pairing of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg for Sweden in the race off today for gold at the Junior World Championships in this team dual moguls competition. The other two teams will ski first in what is referred to as the small final, the consolation round. It's the race for the bronze medal is what that is. And that will be Citrine Boychuk and Simon Philippon Fougère of Canada 2 versus Abby McLarnon and Porter Huff of United States 2. Those two teams, Canada 2 versus USA 2, to ski it off side by side for the bronze medal today. So there will be a short delay to the competition at this stage, whilst those athletes, the finalists, get themselves back up to the top of the course. Next up, it is that small final, the competition for the bronze medal today. Following that will be the competition for today's gold and the World Junior Championship Dual Mogul team title. So, like I say, just a short delay as the skiers get themselves round up onto that T-bar lift and back up to the top of the hill. Ready for action once again on the Dual Mogul course. Tomorrow, Mogul skiers will be in action again in the Dual Mogul competition itself. Today, we're looking at the team competition. Tomorrow will be Dual Moguls with two more medals and titles to be decided on that competition. That is day 4 of the competition here in Airolo in Switzerland for the 2026 FIS Freestyle Ski World Junior Championships. A small pause then in proceedings whilst the athletes make their way back to the top of the hill, which will see the last runs of the competition to decide today's medals and titles. So whilst we're on this break, it gives me the opportunity just to go through some of the results from earlier on in the Mogul competition here. Thursday, got the World Junior Championships underway with the single format Moguls. And on that occasion, it was Nova Nilsson, who we will see in action in just a moment. Nova Nilsson, who took the gold medal ahead of Abby McLarnon, who we'll also see racing in a moment. Nilsson on Team Sweden, McLarnon for Team USA. The bronze medal was won by Mio Tani of Japan. Japan. 4th place, Eden Kruger of the USA. 5th in the women's single format was Victoria Johnson of the USA, and it was Karina Wakim of Australia who was the 6th of the super finalists. In the men's competition, it was gold again for the men. Ellis Moberg. Remember those names. Nova Nilsson won the women's competition. Ellis Moberg won the men. And they are paired up now in this team competition and will race in just a moment for the gold medal once again today. But it was Ellis Moberg who claimed victory in the men's competition on Thursday in the single format competition. Porter Huff, who of course is also through to the finals today. He took the silver medal, and Camden Lewis claimed the bronze. Simon Philippon Fougère, who, of course, we will also see in action. So all 4 of those athletes we're going to see shortly. He was in 4th place. Noel Gravenfors was in 5th place. And Jon Orgeldinger of Germany was the 6th super finalist. That's how things stacked up in the single format competition here in Airolo. And we're just about to find out how things stack up now here at the mixed team dual mogul competition, as the freestyle action reaches its conclusion for today here in Airolo, with these last two runs. Well, not two runs, but last two rounds. There'll be the small final to decide the bronze medalist first, or the bronze medalists, I should say. And then there will be the final itself to decide today's gold medalists and dual mogul team junior world champions. We're looking at the Freestyle Mogul course here at the World Junior Championships in Airolo in Switzerland. A slight pause in the competition just ahead of the conclusion of this, the dual mogul team competition. It looks like we're in. Our athletes are back to the top and ready to go. This then, the small final to be run first. This is the competition for the bronze medal today in this team competition. Citrine Boychuk for Canada 2. They'll be skiing on the blue course. And United States 2 will be skiing on the red course. And it's Abby McLarnon who will be skiing first for that team. Both athletes out clean in this race for the bronze medal today. McLarnon struggling to gain control of that midsection. She's made a good recovery after a bit of a wobbly landing from that first jump. She's just ahead of the Canadian on the red course at the moment. Opening up a little bit of a further gap. Citrine Boychuk tries to match the speed of the American, but crossing the line some way behind. That's a good start to the small final for USA 2. Abby McLarnon there putting in a fast run. McLarnon, the silver medalist from Thursday's single format competition, in her bid now, along with her teammate Porter Huff, for a bronze medal today in the team event. Great skiing also from Citrine Boychuk there. And not much in it. 17 points to the Canadians, 18 points to the USA. Only 1 point in it, so it's still wide open as we go back up top for their respective teammates. Once again, on the blue course, it is Team Canada 2, Simon Philippon-Fougère, skiing against USA 2, Porter Huff. 1 point advantage. going the way of the Americans on the red course at the moment, which is the smallest margin at this stage. And it means that this competition for the bronze medal now in the small final could go either way. Porterhoff then on the red course, the silver medalist in the single format competition on Thursday, very much in form here in Airolo. Both athletes with equally matched jumps on that top jump. Cork sevens, equally matched for speed as well. Not much in it. This is going to be a tight ski-off for the bronze medal. The turns from the Canadian on the blue course just looking perhaps a little bit cleaner. And Philippon Fougère also crosses the line just ahead of the American. So it's going to be close in this decision for the bronze medal here at the Junior World Team Championships on the dual mogul course. The Canadian pairing of Boychuk and Fougère trailing by 1 point going into that run. But Simon Philippon Fougère for the Canadians put in what I think was a slightly better run than that of Porterhoff of America. It's going to be close either way. 38 points to 32. Team Canada get the nod. They will be on the podium today, and the bronze medal will be theirs. Excellent skiing from that pairing there of Boychuk and Fougère for Team Canada 2. Now then, the race, or the competition, I should say, for the gold medal. On the red course, the golden pairing of Nilsson and Moberg of Sweden. Nova Nilsson to ski first against USA 1, Eden Kruger and Camden Lewis. And it's Eden Kruger who skis now on the blue course. This, the competition for gold and the World Junior Mixed Team Dual Mogul title. Nilsson, the gold medalist from Thursday's single format competition. Eden Kruger was a super finalist as well herself, finishing up in 4th place on that occasion. It's a great start for the Swede. She's out in front, ahead of the American now on the blue course. So Nova Nilsson on that red course looking good, locks into the rhythm of that midsection. Excellent skiing from Thursday's gold medalist. Hits the second jump ahead of the American. Both athletes going for a backflip with an iron cross, and a brilliant bit of skiing once again for Sweden's from Sweden's Nova Nilsson in that dual mogul team race for gold medal. That the penultimate race of today's competition, and I think it will give Sweden the advantage over Team USA 1 at this stage. Not by a lot, I don't think. Maybe 5 points. Let's see how the judges go with this one. I don't think it's going to be a massive difference in this race for the gold medal today. So, 14 points for the team for Team USA, 21 points for Team Sweden. Seven points then, separating the two. The advantage with Team Sweden as Ellis Moberg, gold medalist from Thursday's single format competition, gets ready to race now on the red course. Versus Camden Lewis of the USA on the blue course. It's a good start from the Swede. Cork sevens from both athletes on the first jump. A slight advantage in speed from the Swedish athlete. Is he carrying too much speed? One or two little mistakes there. He's struggling to control this. He just needs to finish this. They've already got the advantage. He just needs to finish this clean. He locks into the rhythm in the midsection. Gets his second jump in well too. Crosses the line ahead of the American Camden Lewis. And that was an emphatic bit of skiing from Ellis Moberg of Sweden there. The golden pairing of Nilsson and Moberg, I think, doing enough there to claim gold and the World Junior title in the mixed team competition. We'll wait for confirmation of that, of course. Remember, the Swedes already had that 7-point advantage going into that last run, thanks to Nova Nilsson's run. And I think they may have extended that 7-point lead somewhat, thanks to Ellis Moberg's run. And they do, 10 points in it. The golden team of Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg have made it gold again on the second day of competition here at the World Junior Championships. The two junior world champions in single format are now the World Junior Team Champions as well. What a brilliant week of skiing for Nilsson and Moberg of Sweden here in Airolo. Second place for the US pairing of Eden Kruger and Camden Lewis. The silver medal will be theirs today. And Team Canada 2, Citrine Boychuk and Simon Philippon Fougère in third place. They'll be happy to be on this World Junior podium. The bronze medal will be theirs today. So double golds then for Team Sweden 1. Nova Nilsson and Ellis Moberg. The two victors from Thursday's competition in the single format event have now made it double gold once again. Both of them in this team competition, skiing brilliantly to become the junior team dual Moguls champions for 2026. What a great day of skiing that was on the Mogul course. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Thank you for joining us for this competition. We'll get confirmation of those finishing positions with the graphics in just a moment. We are in Airolo on day 3. Day 3 concluded there for the freestyle action this morning. Saw the aerials team competition. We've just seen the conclusion there in superb form of the dual Moguls team competition. Tomorrow, the Mogul skiers will be in action once again for day 4 here in Airolo as the dual Mogul competition itself takes place. I hope you can join us again for that as we look now at confirmation of those finishing positions in the team competition on the dual Moguls event here. Sweden 1 are the junior champions. USA 1 second. Canada 2 are third. USA 2 are fourth. And a bit of disappointment for the French, crashing out and ending up down in 11th place there. Great to see some new names coming through, the likes of Team GB and Spain, putting in some good skiing in this beautiful area. My name is Richard Cobbing. Thank you very much for joining me today here for this competition. Hopefully you can do the same tomorrow. For now, I will say goodbye as we take a look around the beautiful area of Airolo and Quinto, the host municipalities for this championships. Goodbye for now.